Hello students, in last class we have seen the introduction to the data frame and various kind of operations performed on the data frame like binary operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and we have discussed some basic functions also like head function, tail function, come sum function. So in continuation to that, we are now cover the topic advanced operations on data frame. In this topic we will see the pivoting concept, then sorting and aggregate functions. So let's get started. Okay, so today in this topic advanced operations or on data frame, we will discuss three operations: pivoting, sorting and aggregations. So as we know, this is a revision class. You might have learned the concept pivoting in your classroom, and sorting and data frame aggregation functions, but for revision I am just briefing that pivoting is the reorganizing the data of the data frame in different ways for the purpose of data analysis. For the purpose of data analysis, we need sometimes we need to reorganize the data frame in different way, like looking the data from the different perspective, same data from the different perspective, then we can use the pivoting operation. And what do you mean by sorting? Sorting means arrange the contents in the ascending or descending order. Like I have some data like this. Let's suppose this is 5 2, let's suppose this is 8, and if you want to arrange this data in increasing order means ascending order: 2 5 8. This is the ascending order, and if you want to arrange the same data into descending order, then we will write 8 first, topmost value, then 5, and then 2. So this is the descending order, this is the ascending order. So arranging the data into ascending or descending order is known as sorting. And then another important operation is aggregation. Aggregation is the process of turning the values of a data set or subset of it into a singular value. Like 5 to 8 is a data set, and these are the three different values. If we say sum of these three values is what? Like sum is what? 5 or 2 7, 7 or 8 8, like 15. So this is the aggregate value of 5 to 8, that is sum. Someone might say that what is the maximum of this data set? Then what you will say? 8. So this is a aggregate function, apply on the multiple values. What is the minimum value? Then you will say 2. This is also aggregate function. If someone says what is the mean of this data set? What is the mean of this data set? That is 5 plus 2 plus 8, 15 divided by 3, that is 5. Similar way there are multiple functions available. We will discuss all those into the aggregation topic. So data aggregation means turning the values of a data set into a single value. This is known as data frame aggregation. Okay, so we will discuss each operations one by one in this class. Let's go ahead. Okay, So in pivoting we have two functions in Python. One is pivot method and another is pivot table method. Pivot method is basically used to rearrange the data of a data frame in different way. Like what the pivot function takes, it takes three arguments: index, columns and values. Whatever we pass into the index will become the index of the new data frame. Whatever we pass into the columns argument will become the columns of the new data frame, and whatever we pass into the values will be chosen as per the index and columns into the data frame. We will see an example on the next slide. But what is the limitation of the pivot method? Pivot method limitation is that if there is a duplicate or multiple entries for the same values for index or row, then it will lead to an error. So this is the problem with this pivot method. To overcome this problem, we have pivot underscore table method in the Python data frame, pandas data frame. Pivot table method comes to solve this problem, the problem of the multiple entries for the same value. So it works like pivot, but it will apply the aggregate functions whenever the duplicacy arises. Aggregate function means any of the functions like mean, mode, sum or average, maximum, minimum, you can apply for these duplicate entries in the pivot table method. Okay, so let me discuss these two methods with the example in the next slide. Okay, so in this slide first we will see the syntax df dot pivot underscore table. The syntax of the pivot and pivot underscore table method is similar, only there is a difference between pivot and pivot table method is that in the pivot table method we have this additional aggregate function, but we don't have this aggregate function in the pivot method, because in case of duplicacy pivot method always returns an error. So keep this in mind. Like I am giving demonstration: import pandas as pd, import numpy as np, we do it regularly. Then we are creating this data frame. Okay, forget about order, dictionary, etc. thing, and just using this code we are just creating a data frame d. Now what is there in this data frame? This data frame item column is there, company column is there, rupees column is there and USD column is there. Now, and there is a row index is 0, 1, 2, 3 and column index is item, company, rupees and USD. Now using pivot method, your pivot table method, we want to reorganize this data. For that purpose, like in a new data frame, in pivoting we generally do what we do, pivoting generates a new data frame. The data will be same, but the perspective will be different. The way we are looking to the data will be different. Like d dot pivot, we are looking at the pivot method, pivot, or we can use pivot table. Pivot method, let's suppose index equals to item. Index equal to item means the item, the values in the item column will become the index of the new data frame. So in the item column, what are the values? TV and AC. Keep this in mind that TV is 2 times in original data frame and AC is 2 times in the original data frame, but into the after pivot method is applied, only the unique values will come here, not the duplicate values. So AC and TV uniquely come here, and columns equals to company. So column label will become the values from this company column in the original data frame. So in company column, what are the values in original data frame? LG and Sony and Videocon. So these are the three values. These are the three values in the original data frame. Keep this in mind that while we are applying those here, LG, Sony, Videocon, however LG is repeated 2 times, but in the pivoted table only this will be only 1 time. That means unique values will come here. Okay. Now this LG, Sony and Videocon come as the column because we have passed the columns as company column values in original data frame will become as a column in the new data frame, and item column of the original data frame will become as the index into this new data frame. Okay, got it? Keep this mind while writing, don't write duplicate values here. Okay, now we will fill up the entry like AC LG. What is the value for the AC LG? AC LG is only for 1 time and we are having the value 15,000. So 15,000 will come here. Now in values column we have specified rupees because there are USD and rupees, 2 columns are there, but the values will come from the rupees column only because we have passed the values argument as rupees here. That's why only rupees will come. Now let's see. Now see LG AC, then it will 15,000 we can see in the original data frame. Then TV LG, TV of LG, TV of LG, and TV of LG only 1 time. So what will come? 12,000. 12,000 is coming here. Next is AC for Sony. AC for Sony. AC for Sony is there 1 time only, 14,000. So 14,000 will come here. Then TV of Sony. TV of Sony is not there. TV LG, TV Videocon, but TV of Sony is not there. So the NAN will come. Now AC of the Videocon. AC of the Videocon is not there. So NAN will come. And then TV of the Videocon. TV of the Videocon is there 10,000. So 10,000 will come. So this is how the new pivoted data frame will come. Okay. So this is the example of pivot method, and let us suppose there is a duplicacy. Let's suppose we change this. Let's suppose for the purpose of explanation I am changing this original data frame data and explain it with the pivot table method also. Okay, so let me erase the whatever I have written here, and now I am changing in this data frame. Let's suppose I am changing this AC with TV. Let's suppose I am changing this AC with TV. Okay, yeah, so this is TV. Let's suppose this is the TV. Now if we apply this index as item, then what will AC and TV will come here. Column equals to company, so the LG, Sony and Videocon will come here as we have explained for the pivot method. Now value is equals to rupees, so value is equal to rupees will come. But here let me see, if we apply this data frame and run this code, it will give error. If we change this data frame like this, and if we run this pivot method, it will give error because let me show you. Because for TV of LG there are 2 values. TV of LG, this is 1 value. TV of LG, this is another value. Look at this. TV of LG, there are 2 values. That's why if we apply the pivot method, then it will give error for this particular data set. For previous data set it will not give error as we have seen, but for if we change the AC value from AC to TV here specifically, and if we run the same example with this code, then it will give error. But if we run this same code with this example pivot table method, it will not give error. For the case of duplicacy, what it will do, it will calculate the mean of these two values. 12,000 plus 15,000 is 27,000 and 27,000 is divided by 2. Then what will come? 13,500. 13,500. So instead of this, what value will come if we run it with pivot table? 13,500. Other values also tell. AC of LG is not there. AC of LG not there for this particular case. So in the place of 15,000, here it will NAN. AC of Sony is there, 14,000 will come. And TV of Sony is not there, so NAN will come. AC of Videocon is not there, so NAN will come. And then TV of Videocon is there, so 10,000 will come. Other things will remain same. So this is how pivot and pivot table method works. Keep this in mind. Let me move ahead. Now we will see the sorting operation. Sorting, as we have seen in the first slide, sorting is arranging the data into the ascending or descending order. In Python Pandas there are two sorting method available, by value and by index. We will see those two methods with example in the next slide. Let me tell you the what are the functions available to sort the data frame by value. We have the sort underscore values method available, and it takes certain arguments. We will discuss one by one. Data frame dot sort underscore values will take the first argument by will contain the column by which you want to apply the sorting. Axis is equals to 0 or 1 will tell you that you want to apply row wise or column wise. Ascending equals to true means you want to arrange the data in ascending order, means minimum will on top and maximum will come on the bottom. And NA position is tell that whether we want to put the NaN values at the beginning or at the last if there are NaN values in the data frame. Okay, so this is the syntax. And there is another method by which you can sort underscore index, because we know that data frame has some index like this. If this is the data frame, then data frame will have index like this 0, 1, 2. It may be anything. It need not that it will be integer. It may be a string. But if you want to sort by the index, we will use the sort index method. It will take two argument. Axis equals to 0, then it will apply row wise, and if axis equals to 1, then it will apply column wise sorting. Ascending false means just we need to rearrange the data into descending order, means maximum value will come on top and minimum value come on the bottom. Okay, we will see the examples in the next slide. Okay, so in this slide let me give you an example. We have the data frame. We have created this data frame like using 2D dictionary. Name, we have the name Kapil, Amit, Virendra, Rohit and Ajinkya. We have taken it from there. Then we have the age of each player. We have 26, 27, 25, 24 and 31. Then we have the score of each player: 87, 47, 67, 55 and 47. Okay. Then we have the pd dot data frame. We are creating a data frame. This data frame is created. We haven't passed the index, so default index will become the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 for column. For rows, the index will, for columns, the index will become the key of the dictionary: name, age and score. Okay, now we will apply the sort underscore values function. If we want to in this particular example we are sorting by 2 columns, but if we want we can sort it by the single column also. Sort underscore values and then we can pass by equals to score. If you want to sort by score, then you can like this, you can write like this. You want to sort by score and then ascending as like dot ascending. Please write completely. I am not writing completely because I don't have electronic pen, so it is difficult. Ascending equals to, let's suppose, false. Okay, so by this method, if we apply this method, then it will apply, what it will do, it will arrange this data frame by this score column. Means ascending equals to false means the top value will maximum value come on the top and the minimum value come on the bottom. Ascending false means descending. So what is the maximum value here? 87. So 87 will come top. Then what is the maximum value? 67. Then 67 will come. Then 55. Then 55. Then 47. And then there is a 47 two times. So it doesn't matter which 47 will come top. This way it will produce the output. Other data will come on the left and right, like age and name will come also, but the order of the data will be like this if we apply this code. Now if we apply, this is the example of sorting by the single column only. This example is sorting by the multiple columns at a time. So we will see this example also. Okay, so if we apply multiple column sorting, then first sorting will happen by score, and then if there is a common value, there is a same value for score, then only age will apply, age column sorting will apply. And here we are telling that on the score column the data should be arranged in the descending order, because ascending we are passing false, and for the age column we need the ascending order. Means for age column we will have the ascending equals to true, and for score column ascending equals to false. So the score will arrange in descending order. You can see in this 87 is, then 67, 55, 47. This is the descending order. Now the next level sorting, in a multi-level sorting, keep this in mind that next level sorting will only apply wherever there is a match between the two values, there are the similar values. Whenever there is a tie, then only second level sorting will apply. In this case, which Amit or Ajinkya, in Amit or Ajinkya, who will come first, because score is same. So the second level sorting will apply, and second level sorting we have tried that arrange in the ascending order. So who have the minimum age will come on the top, and then maximum age will come at the bottom. So for 47, the Amit will come at the top, and then Ajinkya will come at the second position, because this is the ascending order. Okay, it will not apply directly on the age, right? All the values will not be sorted in second level. Keep this in mind. Only if there are matched, then only it will apply on those values only, not on the all values. If there is no match in the score column like 87, 67, 55, 47 and 46, then the second level sorting will not apply, because there is a no common, there is a no same values in the score column for which the second level sorting should apply. So keep this in mind while you are answering the question. Now we will have the another method, df.sort index. If there is an index, let's suppose this data frame is this, and if you want to arrange this by descending order of the index, this is the index 0 1 2 3 4 is the index. If you want to arrange this data frame in such a way that the fourth index should come at the top, and then 3, then 2, then 1, then 0, in this case you should apply the sort index method. It will arrange, it will print 4 will at the top, 3 will at the second, 2, 1, and then 0. This way it will arrange, because in descending order. Okay, so I think it is clear. Let me move ahead. Okay, now we come to the topic data aggregation. Data aggregation we have seen in the first slide. On the multiple data set values, we will apply an function and it will generate only a single value. Like there are some examples of the data aggregate functions. 5 marks question definitely will be asked from this topic, because this topic is very important. 2 marks question will be asked from pivoting method, and 1 or 2 marks question may be asked on the sort method, and 5 marks question generally asked on the data aggregation method. So listen very carefully. There are certain methods for data aggregation like count, sum, minimum, maximum, median, quartile, etc. df.mean function, remember the syntax of the function, because if you write the syntax correctly, then only you will fetch the 1 or 2 marks, because it will come like that, given a data frame, apply those, write down the syntax for calculating those. So you should write you should write the syntax very carefully. df.mean will calculate the mean of the all the columns. df.mode will calculate the mode of the each column. df.sum will calculate the sum of the all columns, because by default the axis will be 0, that's why it will apply on the column only. If you will pass the axis equals to 1, then it will apply row wise. Okay, so I have added this line at the bottom. df.count, it will return the number of non null values. Keep this in mind, non null value only. If there is an NaN in the data frame and you are applying the df.count, and if let's suppose the data frame has column like this, 2, 3 and NaN, then df.count will print 2 only, not 3, because it will count non and none values. Okay, df.max will print the maximum value. df.min, df.max will print the maximum value in each column wise, because axis is 0 by default. df.min will print the lowest value in each column. df.median will print the median of the each column. df.core, CORR will return the correlation between the columns, and df.std will return the standard deviation of the each column. If we manually pass the axis equals to 1, then it will perform row wise the similar operation. Keep this in mind. We will see it with example in next slide. Okay, in this slide we will see some example. Let's suppose we have some data frame created through 2D dictionary. So name of the player is given, Sachin, Dhoni, Virat, Rohit. Age of the players is given, 26, 25, 25, 24, 31. Score of the match is given, 87, 67, 89, 55 and 47. Created this data frame. Now we are applying some aggregate function. Let's suppose df.sum numeric only equals to true. df.sum, by default it will apply column wise, because axis will be 0. So for each column, sum of the each column will be displayed. Like for as name is the column that doesn't have any integer, so we are passing this argument numeric only equals to true. Otherwise it will return name and then it will return NaN value. If we are passing numeric only equals to true, then it will apply this sum method only on age and score method, because these columns contain the integer values. Okay, so df.sum will print sum of the age is like 31, and sum of the score is like 345. So it is printing age and score of the age and score column sum in the output. Next is df dot mean. It will print the mean of the age and score column. Age and score column, and we are printing the mean. You should know how can we calculate the mean. All you should know that. Okay. Add and divide by number of elements. Df dot median, it will print the median. Sort and find out the middle element. So after sorting, which will be the middle element in the age, like 24, 25, 25, then we have the 26, then the 31. You should know how can we find the median. If you don't know, then just look in the on the internet. So which is the middle value? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Middle value will be this. So the output will be 25 in that case. And in that case, similar way you can find, arrange this into the descending or ascending order and find the middle value. So 47, 55, 67, 87, 89. So 67 will become the middle value. So 67 is coming like this. Now we will see the df dot mode. Mode is, what is mode? Mode is the number of frequency of the number, any number. Like what is the mode of the age column? If there are the maximum number of times which element is repeated, this is the mode of that particular data set. So 26 is repeating, no. 25 is repeating 2 times, that's why the mode of this particular column will be 25. And in score column there is no value repeating, so the mode of the score column will not be a single value, it will be all these values will become the mode, because there is no element that has the maximum frequency, all the elements has the frequency 1. But in case of age, the frequency of the 25 is 2, that's why the mode of the age column will be 25. Mode is basically the highest number, the number which has the highest frequency will become the mode. So in case of age, the number 25 has the frequency 2, that's why it is the mode of the age column. But in case of score, there is no element, all the elements 87, 67, 89, 55, 47 has the frequency 1, and the frequency of all the elements is same, that's why there is no single mode, all these values are mode. Okay. df dot count, what it will do? Count the number of elements column wise. So name column has how many elements? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Age column has 5. Score column has 5. So 5, 5, 5 is printed. df dot mean will print the column wise minimum. So name has the Dhoni as a minimum, because Dhoni is the smallest value. It will be alphabetically, because D comes at the first before S, R or S. Then age will be, which is the minimum? Age is 24 is the minimum, so 24 will come. Score, which is the minimum? 47 is the minimum, so 47 will come here. So df mean, it is computing column wise, because axis is 0 by default. And df dot max will print maximum value. Name, what will be the maximum value? Which comes last in ABCD? V comes last, so Virat will be the maximum in name column. Age column 31, and this score column 89. So this is how we can compute the data aggregation methods. Let me move ahead. Okay, now we will come to the quantile. Quantile, what is quantile? Quantile is dividing the data set into the n parts. Dividing the data set into the n parts. Let's suppose a data set has the quantile as 0.3. What it indicates? It indicates that 0.30 quantile is basically saying that 30% of the observations in our data set is below that given line. Means if 0.33 is a quantile, then 30% of the observations are in the data set below this line, and remaining 70% will be on the other side of the line. So this is the significance of the quantile. Generally no one will ask in IP subject that how can we calculate the quantile, but the important thing that will be asked is write down the syntax to write down the Python statement to find out the quantile of the given data set. So you need to remember this. So this function df.quantile 0.5, this is the like data frame df, and if you want to compute the quantile of this data frame df row wise or column wise, then you will write like this df.quantile 0.5, and output will become like this. So syntax will be asked more important. No one will ask what will be the value of the quantile in general. Okay, if asked, then you can calculate it. You may see the statistics portion on internet. Let me move ahead. Okay, now we will see how can we calculate the variance. This is also how to calculate the variance is not important for a subject IP, because no one will ask how to calculate the variance in IP, but it is important that how can we write down the Python statement to calculate the variance of a given data frame. Then the syntax you should know. df.var function is the name of the function. It may ask in a 1 or 2 mark question, but write down the syntax to calculate the variance of the given data frame. So you need to write down this df.var. Similarly, made mean absolute deviation. No one will ask how to calculate the mean absolute deviation, but again syntax is important. What is the syntax? Data frame name dot mad, then axis, and skip na if you want. You can write df.mad also. Okay, output will not be asked, because variance calculation is the statistics portion. Okay, so keep this in mind. You need to remember the syntax. Okay, similarly for standard deviation, you need to remember this syntax. No one will ask what is standard deviation or how to calculate it. Is the portion of the statistics, but you should know how can we calculate the standard deviation. What is the name of the function to calculate the standard deviation? So data frame dot std is the name of the function for calculating the standard deviation. Let me move ahead. Okay, so it now practice the as much as possible questions, and I will discuss some CBSE important question in upcoming videos. I will give link for downloading those questions below the in the description box below the video. In upcoming videos we will discuss some CBSE important questions also. Thank you so much. That's all for today's session. If you have any doubt, then identify the slide in which you have doubt. Note down the slide number in the subject of the email. Write down the problem in the body of the email and send the message on this particular email ID. If you have any suggestion on this lecture, just send me on this email ID. Thank you so much. Have a great day.